Hey everybody, it is late at night and I am Norman. I traded my Timex Marlin for a German watch, the Elysee. Tonight we're going to do a full review of this watch, and if you have a watch that you want to trade for this particular piece, be sure to let me know. My email is in the description below. Just shoot me an email and let me know what you would like to trade for it. So let us begin. Alright, so here is the Elysee watch. I've done a first impressions of this watch, and I've had it for a little while now. It is a big boy. However, one thing I do have to say about it is this design is kind of conducive to larger cases. I feel like being larger and all dial just makes that design look great. And it really counteracts the 12mm thickness. It doesn't look thick at all. It is on a crocodile embossed strap, and this color looks perfect with the rest of the watch's colorway. We have a buckle here with a little bit of branding on there. I really hadn't heard of Elysee before getting this watch. However, one of you in my video where I asked you to pick out my next watch mentioned Elysee. So yeah, two of you now have brought this brand to my attention. That's pretty cool. I like the inside color of this strap. That's pretty great. The lugs are fairly short and all polished. The whole case is polished. This is a 20mm strap, which is nice. It's not 22, so it's a little bit smaller. Looking at the case, it is all classy, just very rounded, almost like a pocket watch shape. We have my favorite kind of pushers here, and this is a quartz piece, but the seconds hand is in one of these oversized subdials, so the ticking isn't terribly obvious. Looking at the case back, it is completely mirrored with some nice etching on there. The Elysee logo is pretty cool. And we have Dusseldorf, Germany called out there. And it looks like we have an established date of 1960. Made in Germany, Elysee, and we have the model number and water resistance called out around the edges. This is a friction fit case back. And being a quartz piece, you're not going to be using the crown a whole lot, but let's see what it's like to use that. We'll pop it out. And it has a date, so there's two positions. The numbers on the date wheel are slightly oversized, so they're kind of snug in that window, but they are easy to read, at least in person, not so much on video, but they snap over pretty well. Let's pop this out again. And setting the time feels nice. The hands aren't overly loose. They move fairly slowly. Let's get this around here and pop that back in. Very nice. And let's utilize the chronograph feature. So if we initialize it, the center chronograph seconds hand starts going. And you can see at the top we have a chronograph subdial there. I love how these subdials are oversized. Just the overall uniqueness of this dial is kind of why I agreed to trade for the Marlin. I thought maybe somebody out there would be interested in this just because of that great unique look. And the texture on there is pretty cool. And then we'll stop this and reset it, and it snaps right back up there. So I'm guessing that perhaps at least the chronograph feature is sort of a mecha quartz movement. I haven't yet seen any details on exactly what movement is in this. It sounds like Elysee uses Myotas and whatnot in their watches, but I haven't been able to track down specifics on this particular piece yet. It is discontinued, so there are a lot of ended listings and those didn't really call out the movement, so. Oh, and before we move on, let's see how this date wheel does around midnight. So we'll get this up and it's starting to move at around 11 o'clock or so. And then just before midnight it snaps over. The crystal on this watch is great. The edges are kind of like a box crystal and then it's slightly domed, which is a great shape for this design. I like it. And even though the dial is all kind of that rose gold color, it's still very legible because the hands are polished and the rest has that texture and kind of a matte finish to it. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is 42 millimeters, the case height is 12 millimeters, the lug to lug is 49 millimeters, the lug width is 20 millimeters. The crystal in one listing I found stated that it was sapphire. However, on my diamond tester, it didn't move. So this is probably a mineral crystal. The movement inside this is a quartz movement, and the water resistance is 50 meters. Alright, so let me take off my Armida, and we'll see what it's like when you're wearing the Elysee. Or is it Elysee? So here is the Elysee on my 7-inch wrist. And like I said, I feel like that design is conducive to larger cases. It kind of looks appropriate. It's pretty large for me personally, but yeah. And if you're not aware, this watch is part of a Trade Me challenge, where I offered up my Timex Marlin to see if any of you wanted to trade for it. And this was the watch that was offered for that. So, if you have a watch you would like to trade for this one, you can email me. I've put that in the description below just to make it easier to track down. And I'll hold off a few days to see if any offers come in. But yeah, if you want to trade me for this watch, let me know. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you may want to do that and hit the notifications so that you can kind of follow this challenge and see what happens. That strap looks really good on this watch. The color's perfect. So there you have it, a super unique looking chronograph watch with a great texture on the dial. And again, if you have a watch that you would like to trade for this, shoot me an email and let me know. Thanks for watching.